Hey gang, Diana here. Thanks for coming by today. I'm going to be doing a little coloring with colored pencils and showing you a couple tricks and tips. I kept saying trips. Better put on my glasses. See you soon. Last week I did a video about colored pencils and I'll link that below. And got a bunch of new colored pencils. I like to store them in this, I believe it's called a prism box from Art Bin. It's a real clear box and seems to be fitting everything very nicely. This is, oh boy, just add color book. And I like it because it has nice white paper, nice heavy stock, and it has a perforation there. And there's no printing on the back. So if you are using another media other than colored pencils, I would definitely lay a piece of paper in there. I'm just beginning to add some color, and I'm starting around in the corners or the edges of the bird's head and just laying down some of the darker blue. Usually I like to start with a lighter color, and I can't tell you why I did it this way today, but usually I would start with a lighter color. It doesn't matter that much really. And lay a little bit down and then go just a value down, a value or two lighter. Work within a couple of values, not real dark and real light, in other words, but you can see the difference in those colors. There's not much. And I'm blending those together. I'm taking a darker pencil now. I think that was actually peacock blue, and adding some into that underneath area, which would be in shadow, and just adding some more. Actually pulled up a peacock image and took a look at the colors, and once again, this is, you can sit right down, fill things right in. You do not need to go to this extent, but if you'd like to, I wanted to make some information available. Pretty much the same way you work with markers, regular dye ink markers or Copic or alcohol markers, is how you'd work with colored pencils, by blending out the colors if you want that look. If you want a nice flat look, just apply the colored pencil. And I think, yeah, right now I'm using the side of the pencil, and that's a simple, quick way to fill in a lot of space pretty quickly. And then you can just add some dark around the edges if you'd like. This is one of those grays, and I talk about this a little more at the end of the video. They're really handy to have because they can be used with any color to add some depth and shadow. Now I'm working pretty closely with a really sharpened tip pencil to add some detail to that eye. I'm moving away from that again and adding some more detail. This is really indicative of the way I work, which is to, first of all, it's very intuitive. I go back and forth. I try to work on a large area or the whole thing at the same time. There's my nice big head in the way now. I'm going back and forth with that eye. I'm just thinking about how I want to do it. How much more detail I wanted to add. It's a very tiny eye, so, But I did wind up giving the little guy eyelids, and I might go in later and really, I was thinking about mask type eyes. And that's really one of the nice things about these coloring books is that you can add whatever kind of creativity you'd like, or you can do it up straight, color in the lines, get your confidence going, practice a little bit. They're fabulous. I can't talk enough about them. There's a lot of other things I'd like to do with them, and probably will spend time doing them, using some as collage fodder, gessoing over, collaging into them, and we'll get to that in another video or 2 or 3, because I've got the coloring book bug. This is the technique, I do tell you about this, where I'm outlining with yellow to sort of make a halo around this bird of mine. So enjoy the rest of the video. I'm talking while working from here on out. Bye. So you can see some of the techniques that I was using here by going into the corners of things and making them a little darker, and then blending out into the lighter areas. I actually looked up peacock online to give a little more detail to the face, but you absolutely don't need to do that. It might be a direction you want to go at some point. Using the side of the pencil to fill in large areas is a time saver. And I mean, while coloring isn't exactly about time saving, it's about relaxing and enjoying. It still's nice to finish a page. And you might have noticed in the eye I got in there really tight, which is one of the great things about colored pencils, is that you have the opportunity to use the side of the pencil and then take it to your pencil sharpener and buzz it down to a really sharp point and get in tight. Might not be everybody's cup of tea, but it's definitely mine. Also gave him a little eyelid there, and tried to make sure he had some light in his eye, as I did on these. And you can see I use the same techniques here of adding darks into the corners, little shadows around the edges. One way to stretch your colored pencil collection is, say you've started out with some less expensive Prang pencils and you want to move on to Prismacolors. One great way to do this is to collect a few of the grays. The French grays and the warm grays, they're either warm or cool, and they really increase your coloring ability so that you can go into a thing that's light and take this is a warm French gray, and give it some shadow. And by going back and forth with those two, you can eventually, it takes a little while to build this up, but you can get them to blend. It's just it's a good way to, and again, I'm using the side of my pencil. Don't use a lot of pressure with these, but you can use, and more than you'd think. You'll experiment. And if you do have trouble, let me know if you have trouble with breaking pencils or splitting. I would like to know if you, I've just heard that people are having trouble with them breaking even without an electric sharpener. Listen, I hope that helps, and that oh, one more thing I wanted to mention about this was that glowing technique that I'm adding around the edges. I think this is a really fun technique to make the page feel more painted, is to just go around the edges. And what I did here was to take a very light color to make that have just a little more dimension. And again, this is totally unnecessary. Just another of those little tricks and tips, or trips as we'll call them. And then I just can go around it. It gives it a little bit more, gives it an energy, I feel like. And you could even go in here, like another place I would go is just to go and give it another edge. Have fun is really what I'm saying to you. Have fun at whatever level you are. If you're just coloring that in with one color, have fun with that. If you want to push it to a new level, do it. Thanks, guys. Thanks for stopping by. Give me a thumbs up if you want to see more from me. And please comment. I'd love to hear from you guys. See you soon.